Hi everyone, this is Arian here from Project She Went for Her Dreams. I want to talk about money mindset. Okay, so as women entrepreneurs, the top thing that I hear among women entrepreneurs, my clients, the women that I get to coach and consult with within their business, is the fear of running out of money, right? How many of us can relate to that, right? We see money come into our business and we see it go out, and sometimes we get caught up in the fear of not making enough or not earning enough, right? And there's a lot of other factors that contribute to our earning potential and our income potential, but specifically for our conversation today, I want to talk about um, the psychological barriers that oftentimes get in the way of truly increasing our earning potential as women entrepreneurs. Now, I want to share with you my experience, and I only can talk about the way I've experienced uncovering my own money story. I've done a lot of work around my money story and understanding what are some of the beliefs that I had attached to the dollars that I made, right? So early on in my business, charging people outside of a paycheck, like earning a paycheck and earning money from clients that you work with, are two different things, right? Oftentimes when we get a paycheck, right, there's it's a check dated from the company that we work for. There's no sort of personal attachment to it other than, like, this is my paycheck, I worked X amount of hours and this is what I get, right? When you're working for a client or a consumer of your product or service, right, when it comes to pricing, right, when it comes to profits, when it comes to expenses, right, oftentimes this scenario can trigger some of our money stories, our money beliefs, that oftentimes creates a discomfort, right? We start to attach stories to the money that we make in our business, right? So our money stories can sound like, who am I to charge this, or no one's going to pay for this, or I'm not going to make enough to afford my lifestyle, right? All of these things are super understandable and super normal when it comes to owning and running our business, right? Money in and money out, right? Getting really, really up close and personal with the numbers, right? So being confident and comfortable in charging what you're worth, being comfortable with the idea of wealth generation and what that truly means to you, because wealth is a definition that goes far beyond money, right? There's emotional wealth, there's spiritual wealth, there's personal wealth, right? So understanding what wealth means to you. So the first thing we have to really take a look at is our money story, right? What was the stories that you heard as a young child, right? Oftentimes, at a very young age, we take in some of the belief systems around money that we hear around us, right? So, or we see around us. Chances are, if you're like me, right, and money did not grow on trees, right? I come from a family that we worked really, really hard to bring in money and make sure everything was running the way it should, right? So, what were some of the beliefs that we take from our upbringing, right? So oftentimes these beliefs tend to surface whenever we deal with our money stories within our business. So it's a great opportunity to take a look at the beliefs that you might have around your money. Money on its own is just a tool. It's literally a piece of paper, and the meaning and the belief that we attach to this piece of paper oftentimes represents the reality that we tend to live out when it comes to our finances, right? So if we are 90% of the time in the mindset of there's never enough, I gotta hustle, I gotta struggle for the money, I gotta work really, really hard before I can earn a dollar, all of these things start to create our reality, and we end up doing exactly the things that we believe in, right? So if you believe that money is going to be a struggle, if you believe that money is something that we should not talk about, if you believe that money is hard, right, and I don't understand it, right, so we avoid looking at our financial statements and our bank accounts, right, we tend to use our credit cards or our debit cards without really checking in to see, how much money are we spending on a day-to-day basis, right? These are some of the beliefs um, that tend to surface as we go about our normal day to day, right? So the thing that I most often hear with my clients is the worry of running out of money, right? So there's a passion, there's a desire for the work that we do, and we also obviously want to get paid for it, right? But there's this fear that maybe no one's going to pay us enough, or if I want to make this quantum leap in my business, how will that work? Will I get paid for the work that I'm doing, right? Or how do I raise enough money to keep my business afloat, right? So these are often some of the questions that we have to come face to face with and start to really understand what are some of the beliefs that I'm wrapping around my money story. How do these beliefs serve me? If I want to get to the next level of my income potential, what beliefs do I need to let go of in order to embrace a new level of prosperity and wealth? Okay, so my challenge to you is to write down some of the money beliefs that you currently hold around money, right? What is the language that you use to describe money, right? Do you oftentimes find yourself saying, I'm broke, or I don't have enough, or I can't afford, right? All of these, the words that we use sort of like, day to day, we don't really stop to think about the value and the weight that these words hold for our subconscious. Every time we use the words, I cannot afford, you are literally telling your mind, telling your brain that I cannot afford the thing that I want, right? So your brain takes this in as information that is true, right? So regardless of what you have in your bank account right now, it will always find a way to make that statement true, okay? So take a look closely at the words that you use when you talk about your money, right? What are some of the activities and behaviors that you have around money, right? Are you checking your accounts every single day? Are you paying attention and respecting your money? Do you love money? And truly, do you love money? And it's funny, like, of course, the average person, like, of course I love money, right? But do you really, right? Think of your money as someone you are in relationship with, right? In your current money situation, how would you define that relationship with your money, right? Is it a conflict relationship? Is it a relationship filled with struggle, right? Is it a relationship that you barely pay attention to, right? And think about how you want to be in relationship with this money, right? You want money to be around you all the time. You want it to flow to you, right? So what are some of the actions that you would exude to an actual person if you wanted to spend time with them, if you wanted to get to know them, right? The same actions apply when it comes to your money, right? Getting curious about your money story, right? Getting curious about how money flows to you and how do you want to invite it more into your world in the everyday, right? So getting in right relationship with your money and thinking about what that means to you. So again, this means checking your accounts on a daily basis, knowing what your numbers are, confronting them no matter how uncomfortable it may be, no matter what is in your bank account, no matter what fears that you have around losing it, right? Around losing money or even gaining it, right? So being super confronting about the fears that you have around money, okay? And the last tip that I'll leave you with that has been so transformative in my own life and something that I often teach my clients is for every dollar that you earn in your business, take 10% immediately as soon as it hits your account, take 10% off, right? Transfer it to a savings account, transfer it outside of your normal everyday business transactions, right? Create a separate account where you transfer all your savings to, right? So you get into the practice of paying yourself first. And this is old advice. This is nothing new. You always hear about, putting money aside, right? So make it a practice. Even if you if you think you can't afford to put away money, do it anyway. Even if you end up taking that money right back out of savings just to pay a bill or whatever the case. Train your mind to pay yourself first. Do this for at least 30 days, right? Take a look at how your money transactions tend to change over these next 30 days. Look at your bank accounts every single day. Know what your numbers are at all times, right? And challenge yourself to become or to get into right relationship with your money. Okay, there's so much more that I can talk about when it comes to our money stories. I've done a lot of work around this, but I'm curious to hear what your money stories are and what money stories do you want it to be, right? What relationship would you like to have with your money, and what activities can you start doing right now to start being in right relationship with your money? Okay, this is Arian again from Project She Went for Her Dreams. Until next time.